Hello, everyone, and welcome to this story. The story of the Cerro Maravilla terrorists, a threat to national security. In the lush mountains of Puerto Rico, a group of terrorists had been sowing chaos and fear among the population. Carlos Soto Arivi and Arnaldo Dario Rosado, two young men with a penchant for violence, had been leading a group of separatists bent on destroying the island's stability. The authorities claimed they were involved in manufacturing bombs, planning attacks on government and civilian targets, and distributing separatist propaganda. The Puerto Rico police and local government were on high alert, working tirelessly to capture these terrorists and bring them to justice. The governor of Puerto Rico, Carlos Romero Barceló, declared that these terrorists were a threat to national security and that the police were doing everything possible to stop them. But as the investigation advanced, something didn't add up. Witnesses began to speak about how the police had been following the young men for weeks and how they had been planning an operation to take them down. The police claimed it was a legitimate operation to capture terrorists, but the evidence suggested otherwise. On July 25, 1978, Carlos and Arnaldo were killed in a police ambush in Cerro Maravilla, a mountain on the island. The police claimed it was an armed confrontation, but the subsequent investigation revealed a disturbing truth. The young men had been unarmed, and the police had been waiting for them, guns drawn. As the investigation dug deeper, it became clear that the police had been manipulating the narrative from the start. The evidence pointed to a coordinated effort between the Puerto Rico police and federal agencies, including the CIA, to discredit and eliminate the young men. But why? The truth began to unravel, and it was shocking. Carlos and Arnaldo were not terrorists, but pro-independence activists who had been targeted by a defamation and persecution campaign. The police had been using the excuse of fighting terrorism to justify their actions, but in reality, they were silencing dissent and crushing opposition. The investigation, led by federal prosecutor Guillermo Gil, exposed a web of corruption and abuse of power. Police officers had used intimidation and manipulation tactics to obtain information and had been involved in acts of corruption. The authorities had been working to discredit the young men, to paint them as terrorists and a threat to national security. But the truth was finally out. The Cerro Maravilla case was not a story of terrorism, but of corruption and abuse of power. The police and government had been working together to silence dissent and had killed two innocent men in the process. The case serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and the importance of protecting human rights. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and share if you dare.